Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, Ravendawners. Today's video, very simple. What are the things that Ravendawn needs in order to succeed and or slash survive? We've been playing Ravendawn for like 5 or 6 weeks now. A lot of the level 75s, a lot of people who are really high up there feel like there's a ton of content missing. I'm taking my time in the game, so there's a ton of stuff constantly for me to do, but I'm gonna take their word for it. So me and my community of lovely Twitch chat, we got together and we came up with a list of things that we believe Ravendawn needs, and we're gonna go through it with you today. There's a few banger ideas we came up with today. There's a few that you guys are definitely gonna disagree with. But let's get right into it. This is the list, okay? This is the list of things that we need to save Ravendawn, okay? And I've broken it up a little bit best I can. Number one is content. We need content. The way the map system works in Ravendawn makes it, in my opinion, really, and the puzzling system. If you guys have played Ravendawn for a while, you notice that they have some really awesome puzzles, as well as deep in a lot of dungeons. There's hidden chests and stuff like that. Super cool. With this system's already in place, they can do some really cool 5-man dungeons, and those dungeons could reward you with a ton of XP, infusions, crafting material, and just straight up silver. Next, we need world bosses. We need some really cool world bosses that spawn, once a day or whatever, that drop cool stuff. Who knows what they drop, but we need world bosses. With world bosses, we need ocean content. You know what I mean? We need a Kraken. We need some sort of ocean content. There's some right now. The only ocean content we have is trade packs and the narwhal and fishing. Narwhal isn't even content. Narwhal is just a bunch of really annoying mobs that will destroy your boat. Server merge. Let's talk about it. We need, what they did recently was, who knows? It was taken differently by each member of the community, but they made it so that the number of channels that each server has dynamically changes. What this has done is it is forced during slow times with fewer players on. It forced during server times where the population, during times when the server is dead, it's kind of forcing everybody onto fewer channels. This was taken poorly by some players. If you think about it, now I'm pretty sure there's only one war mode channel during slow times right now, which means I don't think anybody's doing free trade packs on war mode channel right now. And mining, one of my favorite things about this game was just hop into a mine and go nuts for a little bit. But almost everywhere you go, almost every mine you're in, there's other people in it now. So I have no idea. I don't know how to feel about it. Right now, forcing everybody into the same channel. It seems like a safer method than a server merge, because if a server merge, you have to do a whole new land rush, right? For both servers. You can't say one server gets to keep their land and the other server doesn't get to keep their land. You have to do a whole new server rush. And I think we all know that the Ravendawn servers absolutely cannot handle everybody on both channels or on both servers. So maybe we need a server merge. I don't know. We'll see. And, it's going to be tricky to navigate that. A server merge already is kind of, because what happens if you server merge and then everybody comes back? You know what I mean? Now you've got, 10,000 players plus on the same server. So, yeah, we'll see what they do. But they did something and people weren't happy about it, so maybe they got to do something else. Trade packs, triple mats required and the effort cost. This is just a joke, by the way. We were just thinking of more ways to make trade packing harder, because seems like people are still making millions and millions, tens of millions of silver a day. But they have to find a way to nerf the amount of trade packs a person can do without making it harder to get into trade packing. So the method that they used before actually made it substantially harder for a newer player to get into trade packing. So they raised the cost of entry quite a bit. So yeah, I think they need to do, somebody had the idea to move all trade posts far from any respawn point. I don't know. We were just spitballing on trade packs. As far as I could care less about trade packs. You know what I mean? Do whatever you guys want to do. Questing. This is a major thing that I think they need to change in this game. Questing Ranger boards need to, as of right now, Ranger boards don't offer any silver. And I think I get 24,000 silver for a level 60 quest. So they need to make the silver that drops from questing 10 to 100 times more 10 to 100 times better. It's just pathetic. The raw silver that we get from questing, and we don't get anything other than prestige points and bounty marks from ranger boards. So we also suggest that ranger board quest rewards could include items that the mobs drop, you know? So if you do a Morningstar ranger board, why it should drop maybe 10 string or something like that, instead of giving us just raw silver, you know? Just more rewards for questing and ranger boarding, making it, I mean, questing should be a viable way to earn silver, especially at the start through to mid game, you know what I mean? And it's just not. It's rather pathetic. So I think that's super important, and I think that'll help new players a lot if you 10x the silver and the rewards that you get from ranger boards and questing. PvP and combat mode. Why do we not have a duel mode yet? What every single game has a duel mode. Why don't we have a duel mode? Control, click, duel. What is going on here? How are you going to release a game, a PvP open world MMO game, without a duel mode? I don't know. You guys are crazy. But we definitely need a duel mode, and that needed to happen months ago, man. Like, I'm not even kidding. There's some stuff that I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt on, but there's other stuff, it's just like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? Duel mode, man. Make it happen. And it's got to happen ASAP, dude. Remove silver costs for PvP death entirely. It gets pretty expensive to die, right? Or allow us to wage war on a guild, which completely eliminates the silver cost on death through PvP to those guild members. We just want a PvP, you know what I mean? I don't know why you're attaching silver sinks to PvP, and I don't know why you changed it to silver from durability. Every other game in the world did durability loss on your gear when you died in PvP, and then the silver sink was you going to repair it. So we just want a PvP, man. We just want to stand outside of a town in PvP without you know, if it costs you 100,000 silver to PvP, or if you have 100,000 silver, which some people don't hang on to a lot of silver, right? If you have and it costs me 10,000 silver to die, I can only die 10 times. My PvP for that day is over. I have to go do something else. Yeah, that's gotta go, man. That's gotta go. So lower level players don't see it yet, but once you get up there, they're going to be upset about it too. So you should change it before the majority of the population reaches level 65 plus. PvP death timers that get longer and longer too. You know what I mean? Maybe. I don't know. As of right now, you just spawn, come back, spawn, come back, spawn, come back. But we need one. They announced, you know, 1v1, 2v2 arenas and stuff like that. So cool, that's coming. But where's all the capture the flag? Why don't games do capture the flag anymore? Or like a Battlegrounds. You know what I mean? Do you remember World of Warcraft Capture the Flag in Battlegrounds? This shit was fun. Bring it back. Give us a Capture the Flag. I think Capture the Flag on this game would be really cool. And then rewards, and then obviously rewards that come from those, you know what I mean? That specifically pertain to like PvP and whatnot. So, you know, maybe we can get prestige points from, you know, our duel modes and our arenas and our capture the flag and our battlegrounds and stuff like that, so that we can work towards higher level ranger boards. Because let's admit it, the ranger boards are essential. When you look at the ranger board rewards, it almost seems like the ranger board rewards are tailored towards PvPers and stuff like that. So all the other PvP game modes in the game should offer ranger board rewards. That's just what it feels like. The next few things are things that I think that you should add, but give us an option to turn on or turn off. Target on skill use. Okay, so when I use a skill near an enemy combatant, just say I use my wind arrow and I don't have anybody targeted, the use of that skill should automatically target the closest enemy. I don't want to, you know what I mean? Target on skill use. Just give us an option to turn it on or leave it off. Because it's really annoying when you're AoE farming and you have one mob targeted and then you pull 8 mobs and then the mob you target dies, but then before you use another AoE ability, you have to then target another mob. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I actually play this game without using my mouse. So I use my right hand on my arrow keys and my left hand on my QWERTY, on my WASD. And I don't really use my mouse that often. So it would be nice to have these skills, because a lot of the targeting is done with mouse. Mouse targeting is a little bit better than tab targeting. It's a lot more accurate for sure, but just give us the ability to target on skill use. I added this option to move to skill range. So if a mob is too far from you when you use an ability, your character will essentially walk to the range necessary. This isn't. The more we talked about it, the more I realized that it was probably a terrible idea. And for some reason, I can't tab target or target somebody during conflict. I don't know. And this one, guys, this has got to go. Holding modifier keys shouldn't stop us from moving. When we hold shift, we can't move. When we hold control, we can't move. That effectively makes shift 1 through 6, shift Q, shift WE, shift E, shift R, shift T, shift Y. Every shift, every modifier key is essentially garbage in this game because we can't use them because it stops us from moving. You have to fix this, guys. You have to fix this. This alone will kill your game. I'm not kidding. Anyway, okay? I'm serious. I am serious. This has to be fixed. The UI, the entire rework of the chat window. Okay? Pressing escape doesn't close your chat window. Okay? So pressing escape doesn't close your chat window. It just brings up the escape menu. Gotta go. It also doesn't close the toggle house mode. The only way you can click, but I don't use my mouse. All right. The chat window has to work the same way every other chat window worked in history, especially the escape button. When you press escape in an MMO, it closes every single window one by one or all of them at once. Okay? I'm serious. This shit is annoying as fuck. For God's sakes, I just got rid of that. Whoops. Let us put our weapon stone on our hotbar. Or let us put our whetstone on our hotbar. How come we still can't put whetstones on hotbars? Escape key should close all UI instantly. Doesn't close housing window or chat. Legacy UI mode. I know recently they did a huge UI overhaul, but when you did it, I actually didn't like how you did it, and I would have really liked the option to use the old UI mode. So I think you guys should consider introducing a legacy UI mode which allows us to use the old UI. Okay? That way, if somebody doesn't like the changes you make, they can always just stay on the old one. Giving the people the option to stay on the old UI and use the new UI, I don't think that will literally cost you anything because you already have the old UI. Okay, so just legacy UI mode. Why not? A better party system. I still don't think we can right click on people in chat and invite them to a party. Yeah. We still can't invite people to the party from the chat window. Every other game you can invite people to the party through the chat window. So figure it out. Somebody wants a better indication towards which creature expertise you most recently acquired. So whenever you level up your creature expertise here, you kind of have to guess which one. I haven't messed with it a lot. I don't really care. I kind of just let the game decide for me what I'm gonna get, and then over time these will all just increase really heavily, or eventually they'll just give us like a creature expertise reset or something like that, you know what I mean? And I'll buy it. If you want to release a creature expertise passive point reset, I'll buy it, just so you know. So that's it for UI. I'm sure if you guys have any ideas that you want the developers to know as well, put them down in the comments. Okay, if you guys have any ideas, put them down in the comments. We'll check it out. We'll add it to the list later on because I'm sure we're going to have to try and save Ravendawn again at some point. Okay, so life skills. We need animals in the wild that we can hunt and harvest for more spool of hair and hide. I mean, I think so. I don't know where, like, when you can pull a pack of wolves and you can get some spool of hair, but like just adding like pigs that don't really attack you on a farm out in the world that you can kill, butcher, get like 10 hides. I think that would be really cool. You know, put 10 pigs on a farm, kill it, butcher it, 10 hide. Boom. Put a sheep out there somewhere on a farm. There's lots of farms out in the world, NPC farms out in the world, that don't have any purpose. You know what I mean? Put some lamb, chop the lamb down, spool of hair times 10. You know, why not? I don't think it'll hurt. But the game uses a tile system, right? In the game, you just use the tile system in the game to make mining deposits appear randomly in the world. So don't make them spawn in the same place every single time so people can't rotate them. Just make the mining deposits appear randomly around the bottom of mountainsides and stuff like that. So while you're out, you can while you're out just like questing above ground. As of right now, there's absolutely 0 mining deposits above ground. Okay, I know you want to force everybody together, but just put a few out in the open world. It'll make it feel more immersive. Just decrease milk tea cost. A new player, there's no way they're maxing out their there's no way they can afford to have milk tea tied to every single XP they get at the start, because you'd have to do 10 quests. You'd have to do 10 quests before you can afford one milk tea at the start of the game. So, or make your milk tea costs tied to your legacy level. Okay? Mining, fishing, and woodcutting should drop infusions, and infusion type is based on profession level. So I think this was one of the coolest things to come out of this brainstorming session. I think that if you're woodcutting, it should drop infusions, and the higher your profession, so if you have level like 70 or 60 woodcutting, then I think you should get ghostly infusions, one ghostly infusion per swing. I think we'd see a lot more people out there cutting trees. There'd be a lot more people mining, and I think there'd be a ton more people fishing if you could get infusions from fishing. Just make infusions drop all over the place. That would effectively lower the cost of infusions, and that would really, really, really help out new players, I think, as well as old players, you know what I mean? So infusions dropping from gathering, I think that would be super, super cool. We also came up with an idea for life skill trophies with a super low drop rate. That drop doing that life skill, because as of right now we have trophies that increase like your might by 4%, your vitality by 4%, stuff like that. So a life skill trophy that permanently increases your mining speed would be super cool. Okay, that'd be super cool. Yeah, get on it. Do it, guys. I think that'd be really cool. Profession XP needs to update with every single experience point gained towards that. This is just a stupid thing that I want. So this number here, as you're mining, this number here will actually not update every single time you mine. I don't know why it does it that way, but once your bar fills to like here, you're actually gonna have to mine for like 20 minutes before it actually ticks over. So this makes it really hard to tell. For me, I'm paranoid, and it makes me feel like I'm not getting the XP. So make this update every single time you mine, please. Crafting. Apparently we need a recycling system. Allow us to recycle for either Dawn Essence or deconstruct gear for a fraction of the materials to make the item. I don't think they should mess with crafting too much. You know what I mean? You don't want to break anything. Oh, let's cut back here for a second. Peacetime is way too long and needs to be reduced by half or more. Yeah, peacetime is way too long. You guys got to cut peace down. You guys got to cut peacetime down by... Peacetime should only be like, I don't know, an hour. I don't know if it is an hour, but it feels like it's like 2 hours long. Cut peace times in half. All right, let's go back to... So a lot of games, if you made... So just say you make a bow that has wisdom intelligence on it along with spell defense. Rather than trying to sell that, they should introduce a thing that allows you to deconstruct that item so that you can try again for crafting. Maybe at a third of the materials, a fourth of the materials. That way you make four bows that are garbage, deconstruct them, and then you get one free chance essentially at crafting again. But you would still have to buy just say you do that with tier 5s, you would still have to buy the tier 4 bow. So as of right now, crafting is like super, super expensive, and only like one type of each weapon is really profiting. So yeah, a deconstruction method would be cool. We also need an indicator that shows us which items that we have already crafted and obtained the Ravencrest emblem from. And it should be right here in this menu here, There should be a little icon next to every single item to show, because when you craft something for the first time, you get a Ravencrest emblem. But how are we supposed to know? Look how many things are in this menu. Like, I don't know. I can't remember. There's like 8 different professions. How am I supposed to? So give us an item, give us an indicator that tells us what we've crafted already. There's not enough Ravencrest emblems in the game to upgrade all your houses. So they need to add, you need to either add Ravencrest emblems to the game, because as far as I know, there's like no Ravencrest emblems north of vampires. So you need to add more Ravencrest emblems to the game, or just cut down the cost of Ravencrest emblems for everything by half. So housing. A lot of people say remove all community land. Now I don't agree with this, because what are you gonna put in all that empty space? Everybody hates the way it's like an eyesore. You have to run through this really awful community land. But like, what do you put there in replacement? You know what I mean? You have to have something there, and I just don't know what you're gonna put there. So I think that's a pretty major thing Yeah, remove all non-community land. Like, I don't know, you have to put something else there because there's a ton of land. All these open spaces, this is all community land. Like, you have to decide what you're gonna put there. You have to decide what you're gonna put there before you take the land away. So I don't know. I didn't necessarily agree with it, but a lot of people seem to want it. So you decide. Oversupply. I thought oversupply was fine. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't want you to mess with it, because if you make oversupply harder to reach or whatever, then, and you know, the 1,000 level 75s that exist already, that have already used oversupply to get there, that's great for them, but the rest of us, don't touch it. Cosmetics, more mountain costumes. I want light blade costumes accessible on my bow class. There's like a really cool clockwork orange like top hat and trench coat. I want to be able to wear that as a bow. I know it's helps with distinguishing who you're trying to fight, but just make it so that the outfits shouldn't be class bound, but the weapon skins should be. So you shouldn't be able to use an axe skin while shooting bow stuff, right? People also want account-wide monk warehouses. Okay, so when you have the option to have 4 characters on one class, and people want monk warehouses on, if they buy monk warehouses on one of them, they want their monk warehouses on all of their characters. This isn't really how it works anywhere else. And or if you're not going to do it, they think that you should indicate somewhere that it's character bound rather than account bound. You probably do, I don't know. Map fog, so you can see where you've already been. Exploration is a huge part of this game and stuff, right? It doesn't have to be like super dark. It could be you should be able to see the entire map, but places that you haven't been should be just lightly grayed out. You should still be able to see through it. That way you when you're exploring, you don't uncover places multiple times, you know what I mean? So I think a map fog would be really cool. You know, this game has a lot of like achievement hunting type stuff in it, so I think uncovering 100% of the map would be cool. It would help us with our shinies and stuff like that. So yeah, map fog would be neat, and you should be able to scroll through the different levels of map regardless which level you're on. As of right now, if you're underneath the ground in the dungeon, you can't look at the top map to see if it's actually at war, conflict, peace. Just change that. Just let us scroll through all the levels of the map regardless of what type. Just add a little button we can click here. You know, you have a zoom in, zoom out here. Just add a little button here, which lets us look at the bottom floor, look at the floor under, look at the floor under. I don't see why that would be a big deal. So that's all I've got for you. Thanks for watching the video. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully the devs see this and they take some of this. Definitely not all of it. If you use all of this, you're going to ruin your game. So I think, maybe, I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to know how to develop a game or anything. I'm just a gamer, right? And me and my community, like about 50 people got together and we put this list together. So if you have any other ideas and you want to add stuff to the list, pop it down in the comments. Hopefully the developers will see it. I'll send it tonight or on the Discord. And if you think any of these ideas are not good, also put that in the comments, but please explain why, okay? And no negative comments. They'll be like, you can't save Ravendawn yet. It's gone. It's trash, right? No, everything can be saved except you. You can't be saved. Thank you for tuning in. Monday through Friday on Twitch, 9 to 5. We'll see you next time. Bye, guys.